Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness. This is the second extra video. This time we're going to be doing something much more fun than the dojo. We're going to go to Zero Isle, and not just any Zero Isle, but the Southern Zero Isle, which is where you can find gators and home cooking and jambalaya and
that's where I'm
that
from.
good
I'm
stuff.
from the South. we got Chick-fil-A, we got barbecue, we got Alabama.
You're even further south than the South, aren't you? You're
Well,
like
culturally speaking, I'm not in the South. I live in Tampa. I live in Central Florida, so it's strange. Anyway, this is Zero Isle South.
you do that Southern accent pretty good though.
Well, fuck you.
Anyway, okay, so Zero Isle. Would you like to explain Zero Isle?
Okay, there are 4 sections in Darkness and Time. 4 sections to Zero Isle. That would be north, south, east, and west.
In Sky there is Central,
yeah,
but
in Sky there's a 5th dungeon called Zero Isle Central, but that's in Sky. We're not playing Sky, so we're not showing it. Boo-hoo. So, each Zero Isle directional dungeon has its own unique restrictions. Unique from every other dungeon we've seen so far. South has these. You can't recruit in any Zero Isle dungeon, to my recollection. You're reduced to level 1, as you can see. You cannot bring any items. Now, some of the dungeons you can, and you cannot bring team members in this one. In some of them you can.
And you also can't bring any money, not that it really matters. If you have money.
Yeah, no monies. Money only really matters for Kecleon shops that randomly are dispersed throughout the dungeon. So,
So whatever you find in the dungeon for money is what you have for money.
yeah. And you won't need a lot for the first parts of it. And you know what could be useful is if you found a link box in a Kecleon shop. Like, you go in without any linked moves, period.
You do all the moves that you have are unlinked too, then?
Yeah, when you go to Zero Isle and you reset to level 1, the game has a default move set that your Pokemon gets when you start the dungeon. So,
And that's what you get.
right, so Raichu has Tail Whip, Quick Attack, Thunder Shock, and Thunderbolt. That's its default move set.
I think I found a link box once, and I was like, oh, well, this is cool. I don't know, did I have one? I think I might have had one in storage for you, actually. I don't know if I did.
I don't know. I didn't see one, so...
Anyway, another thing to mention is there are special chambers that you can find in... I believe this is also in Darkness, it's not exclusive to Sky. But there are different, chambers. You can find a Miracle Chest on floor 96, which I think a Miracle Chest is just a really good chest. But specifically, these chambers that need keys, as you saw, we found a key to unlock. I believe they need keys to unlock. Usually contain items for legendary Pokemon. For example, on floor 15, you can find the Time Shield for Dialga, Wish Mantle for Jirachi, and a Chrono Veil for Celebi, as well as a Reviver Seed and a Wonder Gummy. And wait, what's a Wonder Gummy? Is that like it goes for any? I'm assuming any. Like, there's no. You know how all the gummies, like yellow gummies, good for Pikachu. I'm assuming yellow Wonder Gummy works for anyone, right?
A Wonder Gummy?
Yeah.
What about it? I actually don't know.
I was asking you what it was, but I'm looking it up.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Ignoring type effect. So basically, it works for all Pokemon, I'm assuming. A food item with a curious texture, unlike any gummy, it permanently raises the IQ of a team member. It also... Yeah, I guess it just works for every Pokemon. Anyway, you can find Wonder Gummies. And then on floor 25, you can find the Rainbow Veil for Ho-Oh, Bolt Fang for Raikou. I really like these item names. They're really awesome. Flare Fang for Entei, Aqua Mantle for Suicune, and then Reviver Seed for Wonder Gummy. So you can find, different really good items for legendary Pokemon.
Look at this. Look at the... Okay, hold on. I gotta point this out, because I just picked up an Iron Thorn. For throwing items in this dungeon, thorns and sticks are pointless.
I like sticks.
Because they don't do a lot of damage. The rocks do a lot more. Like Geopebble, Graveler Rock, they do a lot more damage than the thorns. And when you run out of power points for moves that do damage, they can come in handy quite a bit.
Another thing to mention is that PTM is going to be going through these dungeons until he dies, and we're not going to say when he dies just because it'll be more interesting for you guys to see how long, where he actually ends up, but it's basically, he's not going to go through all 99 floors. If he does, wow, cool, but, yeah, it's not going to be... We're not going to make you guys sit through 99 floors. For anyone who'd be like, I don't want to sit through all 99 floors, well, you don't have to, because we're not either.
Yeah. It would be a miracle for anyone to get through Zero Isle, anything.
I'm sure people have done it. They've just been really good. But, yeah, I like this. The Zero Isles seem to be the most interesting part of the Mystery Dungeon games, honestly. They're kind of the most unique and most challenging, too. And it's definitely better than, like the Pit of 100 Trials and TTYD. It's pretty much just a gauntlet with the healing items. But here it actually has unique conditions that make it more special.
Yes, special.
Another thing to mention is Pokemon you can find here are...
Oh, boy. Well,
a lot.
Mega counted, and there seems to be over 100 Pokemon here.
There's a lot of Pokemon here, and I'm not going to go through the whole list, because, yeah, you can't even recruit them anyway.
Yeah. Non-recruitable, Zero Isle.
So, yeah, and then the music is Jukebox, as you can probably already tell.
Jukebox Hero.
With stars in his... Okay, no, I can't sing, especially...
It is Pingus.
No. That would be silly.
That'd be very silly. Shelter's just sitting there chilling.
He's sleeping.
Yeah, I am not gonna wake him up. Mostly because I have 9 HP and that was... Yeah, see, Graveler Rock. Oh boy.
Now, I'm assuming as you level up, you'll be able to get more moves the further you get in the dungeon, right?
Yeah, but you have to level up quite a bit
to
even get to that point.
Well, why not though? Because okay, not that much though. Sometimes because we got moves pretty early on, didn't we?
Yeah, but he's got that default move set too. Like a lot of those moves you'd learn early on anyway.
Yeah, some of those moves you don't learn Thunder Shock that early on, do you?
Oh, you do.
No, the one that has the multi-hit.
No, Thunderbolt is the one you're thinking of.
Oh.
Thunder Shock is an early move. Like Pikachu will learn that before level 10. I'm pretty sure, because you learn it before level 10 in the games.
What about Thunderstruck? I think it's Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck. Yeah, nah, that's not a move that you can learn. Imagine if that was a move.
That'd be awesome. Well, not really awesome, but it'd be interesting. Anyway, yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say there.
Yeah,
because PTM is playing. Obviously, he's Raichu. He could have been. Would it have been easier to use Infernape? Do you think?
I'm gonna say jury's out because it doesn't really matter. It's a challenge, no matter which Pokemon you choose.
Yeah, but you could make it more. Like, for example, you could do this with like Farfetch, and it would be harder than if you were to do it with like Raichu.
I think the only way it makes it easier is because I think Infernape's moves have more power points. Like Scratch would have more power points and more accuracy than Quick Attack.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, the challenge is not too much different.
Well, and you can find a ton of different types of Pokemon here. There's no like consistency.
Yeah. Oh, I hate those traps. Self-destruct traps are just awful here.
Oh, I was gonna mention, the Pokemon match your level, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a typical long dungeon. Gradually increases in difficulty as you go along. I'm not sure if they exactly match in level, but it stays competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely stay. Oh, I see here another one of those near-death experiences. And I don't even know, like, I can't even gauge very well how much hit points these Pokemon have. So that's another challenge.
See, here it almost seems like in this dungeon, like usually when I do the regular ones, I just attack anything, but here it almost seems like it'd be somewhat advantageous to run away sometimes.
Not early on. Well, unless you have low HP, but not early on. I think it's better if you if you start leveling up early on, it makes your set moves powerful. And you want
Joy Seed, that will be definitely.
Oh yes. You can just go all out with using these kind of seeds in this dungeon. Anything helps. I think that's gonna be a life seed over there. I can't really remember. Ooh, one hold item to look out for in any Zero Isle dungeon is Stamina Band. Now, Stamina Bands are not really that helpful outside of this area, but with this dungeon, you're gonna have 99 floors, and your two greatest enemies in this dungeon are your hit points and your hunger. The hunger more than your hit points, honestly, because if you don't get apples, then the hit points are going to take a hit no matter what.
Apples.
Yeah, buy some apples. I can't wait for that show to start again, man.
Oh, it's coming. There's actually, I won't say here, but I'll tell you after we're done. There's actually the third episode has been revealed for season 3.
Oh yes, show me.
I'll probably no one else really cares, so we'll talk about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Have you decided are you gonna try Black and White then at all again?
If I can emulate it, sure. I probably won't get it.
You could run it though.
I have before. I have actually tried Black, and I've actually beaten the first 2 gym leaders, and I liked it. It didn't pull me in like 3rd generation pulled me in to the game. 4th didn't. I beat the Elite 4 and 4 and Diamond and Pearl, but it just, I don't know.
The thing, I finished pretty much all of Black and White 2 at this point, and from my perspective, without giving any spoilers away, if you prefer story and exploration and exploring something new and all that jazz, I guess the exploration not so much if you play Black and White 2 and you didn't play Black and White 1, but why would you? But assuming you play both of them, you prefer the exploration of something new and you prefer the story, Black and White is more going to be your thing. If you prefer the extra stuff and battling and some of that stuff and the post-game things and then Black, if you preferred that, like the, that was a big thing in Heart Gold and Soul Silver with some of the extra stuff and rebattling trainers. And the gyms are really awesome in Black and White too. You'll prefer that, but I really felt they took a huge step back with the story in Black and White 2 because they had this really awesome story in Black and White 1. And then in Black and White 2, they're pretty much like, nah, we're going to go back to the way we used to do things. And I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, how are you going to make the story any more fresh, especially with adding new characters as the main characters too?
Well, I can't. You'd have to play Black and White 1 to understand. And not that Black and White 1 story...
wait. Pause. Let's watch this sequence here. This is our first monster house in Zero Isle. Now, anytime you have a monster house this early, run.
I want to see someone, play the Benny Hill Yakety Sax theme to this. But speed it up, obviously, because you have to speed it up. That song makes everything funny if it's sped up.
Yeah, 2 hit points, guys. Spoilers, I actually get out of this.
Hey, how would they know that you would get out of it 13 minutes into a 23-minute video?
I just sit there for 10 minutes until I decide.
You sit there for 10 minutes sobbing at your loss.
Yeah. I could have used something other than running away, but I didn't think about it at the time, so...
Anyway, though, basically, I don't want to spoil it for people who do care, but not that Black and White 1 story was, anything incredible, it really wasn't, but the way they presented it, they kind of did it throughout, they made it an integral part of, going from every town. It just felt like they implemented it more. You know how, in Diamond and Pearl, for example, or even Ruby and Sapphire, you only occasionally encountered, for, what was it, Galactic and Magma and Aqua, all of them, right? And when you did encounter them, you'd battle them, and then they would leave. It would be a quick thing. That's kind of how they treated it in Black and White 2. In Black and White 1, it wasn't like that. They made it a lot bigger thing, and the story was kind of melded with the actual going through the whole game. It wasn't just kind of oh yeah, now we need to battle these guys. And the way that they treat it, and the way that the plot, the way that Black and White 1 ends was kind of unique to it. That game is the only one that did it, and Black and White 2, again, kind of just reverted back to what the old games would do. You really had to play it for me to, unless you want spoilers, which I could have spoiled, but I don't want to for viewers who, which I already probably said too much.
That'd be fair. Oh boy.
Not
Level
that
9.
Pokemon spoilers are anything amazing, but I know I have a bad habit of not wanting to spoil myself, like have others to spoil me on things, and then I'll accidentally or just inconsiderately spoil others because I'm just a horrible person. And then even then I'll spoil myself. Like I hate it when people spoil me for things, but I'll spoil myself either purposely or accidentally because I'm just awful.
I do that far too often, and it
well,
sucks.
The worst thing I do is, like, I think I mentioned this, I'm watching something and I want to know more information. I spoil it because I look up information on it while in the middle of watching the episode. I'm like, oh, I didn't want to know that.
No, check that out. Electivire.
Wait, do you have a suction cup? Or no, you have no stick?
No stick cap. That just means
that
your
do?
items can't get stickied by traps and other moves.
Is that item only exclusive to this dungeon? I've never seen it before.
No.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah. Well, it's not exclusive because then you can take it out of the dungeon if you make it through. So.
Well, yeah, but I just never seen it before. I almost think you'd be better off with having, again, water Pokemon, only because you'd be able to take shortcuts. And how that'd be great for running away for a Pokemon that can't follow you.
Yeah, except for Shelder.
Shelder.
Yeah. Oh, watch this Wobbuffet very carefully. Destiny Bond is like a death knell for this dungeon. You do not engage Wobbuffet after he uses it. You have to get out of there.
Now, what does Destiny Bond do again? If you
faint that Pokemon that used it against you, then you also faint.
Okay.
So you choose not to engage Wobbuffet, and you'll live.
Now, how does Perish Song work in this game? If it even is in this game.
Perish Song is like Destiny Bond, but it happens at a later turn. Like it happens in like 3 turns.
But I know in the regular Pokemon games, if someone uses Perish Song, if you switch out Pokemon, you'll be fine.
Yeah. But in this, like if you were to encounter it in this game, it wouldn't matter. Like you would have to die in like a certain amount of time, I guess.
What if you went to the next floor? Would that save you?
Yeah, probably. It's the same kind of effect of switching. Although I've never encountered a Politoed with Perish Song in this game.
Another thing I want to, and this is actually not going to matter for this dungeon, and I'm asking you because again you've done these dungeons, I haven't, and I guess it also matters for. Well, I've only done story dungeons. When you do a dungeon that isn't a story dungeon, and you're doing it with, like, for example, me and you, us two, as opposed to other random Pokemon, usually when you have an extra Pokemon, if they faint, they get sent back to the guild. Here, when you do dungeons that allow you to do 2 Pokemon at a time, like me and you, would you be allowed, if for example, you faint, would I still be alive?
Right. Because there's no longer like a story kind of thing. If, say, I was the leader and you were another member of the party, if you fainted, then it wouldn't matter because I would still be able to go through the dungeon.
What if you were the leader and if the leader faints? Then
leader
it's
faints,
over?
you automatically leave the dungeon. You fail your mission.
Okay.
Yeah. Leader dies, it's all over. But if anyone else dies, then you're okay.
Okay. So then it would be good to use the other Pokemon as a meat shield then, if needed.
Not necessarily, because if you have Reviver Seeds, that's typically bad. If you just are.
But you can make them not use Reviver Seeds though.
You can.
Yeah, remember I told you can switch it off. You can make it
yes.
so.
Yes.
That I think
true.
it's like item user or something. You switch off that skill and they won't use any item.
Oh well, see I think there's a difference between that and the Reviver Seed being a compulsory item.
I don't think it is if you. It's only compulsory if the Pokemon uses it. But if they don't have item user or something on, I don't think they'll. Either I'm pretty sure there's a way to make it so that they don't use Reviver Seeds.
I mean, it sounds like there would be a way, but the way it's used reminds me of like Life Shroom in Paper Mario, where it just like if you have it in your bag, you have to use it if you die, or your partner has to use it if they.
But
die.
to be fair, Paper Mario doesn't have IQ skills.
To be fair, Pickles.
Well,
that's something you'd say. No, but honestly, I don't know if there's a difference or not.
Well, I didn't actually try, but I would, if you wanted to, you could try that. But I understand what you're saying. If you can't, it would be better not to use them as a meat shield, because otherwise they would waste reviver seeds.
Right.
But if you could make them not use reviver seeds, then it'd be like an extra life. Or I guess what you could do is, not have them waste reviver seeds, but when you're out, then use them as a meat shield.
A meal shield, man.
A meal shield.
Meal shield. Yeah. See, yeah, we got about 3 minutes left, and yeah, I'll get to floor 99 in about 3 minutes.
Will you?
No. If you haven't figured that out by now, I do die. So.
No. PTM clearly is a master of warp speed.
Yeah, the prior arrangement was that I would play these dungeons until I die. So we'll see how I do in the other 3 dungeons in this game. But
place your bets.
Yeah, place your bets. Which floor am I going to make it to? And then I'll rig it so that one person wins everything. So.
I don't know. I do think that it'll be more interesting instead of being like, okay, yeah, you're going all the way to floor 99. I mean, at least here it's more kind of suspenseful, somewhat. Though then again, we know I guess by the end of the video, you know you're gonna die. So it's like, oh well, he's gonna die like now. So I guess it's not that suspenseful.
Yeah, but you never know. Now I think this first one is a stupid way of dying. Really,
you die right here?
No. This is okay.
You know what you could do? You could just have your death be randomly in the video and have the last whole seconds be like, I don't know, like a photo of PK or something to buffer the video time.
I don't want people to die while they're watching this video.
That's offensive.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. PK has a beautiful face.
PK would sit. No, I'm just kidding. No,
PK
is a beautiful human being, guys. You should see his mustache. His mustache is awesome.
That reminds me, actually, I never mentioned it, and I feel bad for never mentioning it, and if the person's still watching, thank you. We actually received fan art a long back when PK was actually still in the party as a Paris. Someone gave fan art.
Yes, I remember that.
And we both me and PTM saw. Oh, there's one of the chambers. Both me and PTM saw, but we never mentioned anything about that. But I can't remember who sent it. It's still in the PM box. But thank you who sent that. It was really.
Yeah. We're gonna feature that in one of these videos.
If you want to add it to one of the last videos, go ahead. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we'll put it at the beginning though.
Make sure to mention who did it too when you do that.
Oh, of course. This is the part I'm talking about. Hypnosis sucks.
See, you could have got to the extra chamber. And...
See, I had 1 HP left.
Oh no, the key was stickied.
And it wouldn't matter. I would have had to waste a turn to.
You should have used the sunny orb or just do something stupid.
No, I tried fighting back. And it didn't work.
Throw the aerial ace.
You know what I should have done was Thunderbolt. That would have been a far more effective move.
Blast Seed seems kind of useless usually. Anyway, that's it. PTM is dead. Next time we will do Zero Isle East.
Yes.
I think. Yes.
Bye. Wow, We're not done yet.
Yes, we are.